mate. You're on a roll at the moment with some impressive recent results. Narrowly missed the Olympic qualifier in the 800 Hunt Track Classic. Finished just behind Gregson at Briggs. Can you tell us a bit about these races, how you felt? And are you confident you're going to get that qualifier in either event in the coming meets?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm on a bit of a roll, but I'm getting excited and I'm trying to, work with the momentum that I got going. But, I feel like these times are, they're a stepping stone, but they're not quite anything without running an Olympic time. So I'll just run you through each race. So Hunter, I kind of just went into that just with like a really open mind. I thought, the field was pretty good. Um, Bitters, the coach gave me a tactic to win. I thought, that sounds doable, but I've never ever ran, the day after coming back from altitude. So I thought I was a little bit nervous, and I got out on the track, got out hard, and it ended up being, a little bit. I don't want to say easier, a little bit. Yeah, well, I suppose a little bit easier than what I expected, and it was a good race. A few people have pulled me up a little bit about easing down the straight, but I wasn't quite sure what time I was on. I thought we are going slow, to be honest. So I wasn't looking back. It looks a bit stupid and maybe a little bit arrogant, but look in my mind at the time, I thought we weren't going that quick, and I just thought it was a season opener, so I think that was good, and I think it kind of opens people's eyes a bit that you can still run quick times off running, doing a lot of strength and base work, because when we were up at Falls Creek, we were doing, I don't think we did anything at sub 1 minute pace. We did maybe a few 200s in 30, 31 seconds. But, if you watch my race, we were able to open in a 52. We're able to, if you watch Ryan Gregson, he was able to close in about a 55. So, I mean, I think that a lot of that, what that showed to me and maybe to others, was maybe that you can still run quick off strength work. And then Briggs, went over to Briggs, and I thought, knowing Grego's tactics, I thought he's pretty much going to try sit in for as long as possible, use that devastating kick he has, and then try. He can pretty much beat just about anyone in the world with that kick. So I thought, I asked my coach, and I said, what do I do to beat this guy? Like, he's the Australian record holder, 331. He just said, you just need to run him off his feet, go hard, and then with 300 to go, kick, try to deny that bit of acceleration that he's got, and then hope, well, not hope, but think that you can get him hold him off down the straight. And I thought I did just about enough, but with 90 meters to go, I saw this bloke in a purple singlet come past me, and I thought, well, he's the Australian record holder for a reason. So it was good, but positive signs, just because I pretty much front ran and paced Grego, and was able to run 3:37. So I think it's a positive, first step, first 15 I've done in a while. So I think it's good signs.
Nice. So in that, you kind of answered my next question. What do you attest your recent form to? I know you've had a couple of stints up at Falls Creek, and obviously you come back. If you're not injured, Nate, you're going to be in pretty good form, which you are.
Well, yeah. What do I credit to? Well, I joined Nick. So I've been managed by Nick, and I suppose the Melbourne Track Club, since I was about 17 and a half. And so he's always kind of been a manager and just given me advice when I needed it. But I joined Nick as a coach in about February last year, so I think we're just touching on 12 months. And I think the thing that I have to credit the most would just be consistency. Just building, layers and layers and layers, and having. Nick said a really important thing. I think maybe in August, he just said you want to have as many weeks possible that look the exact same. So whether that's K's on a Tuesday, thresholds on a Thursday, and then hills on a Saturday, doing that as many weeks as possible, building those layers and just getting stronger. So I'd have to put it down to just strength and consistency, and then as well as that, I'd have to also put it down with I suppose the group mentality, just because I'm training with some of Australia's best, and there's positive feedback bouncing off everyone. when one person runs well, confidence bounce off another person, and there's 20 odd people at training every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all with the intention to make the Olympics. So I mean, if you're not motivated, then I don't know. It's pretty hard to not be motivated in that group, and I'd probably have to put it down to that consistency and working with the group mentality that MTC has at the moment.
That makes sense.
And actually, as well as that, and now I've done 7 weeks at altitude. So 3 weeks in November and 4 weeks over January, and I swear by altitude training now. I hope that I can get about if I could get about 3 months a year, I'd be happy.
Nice. It was working. So, bit of a random question. Look, do you think you can beat Rhodesia in Melbourne?
Oh. Well,
do you believe? Do you believe it's a possibility?
The man has. I think he's only lost about. Before 2014, I think he's lost one when he was in his peak. I think he's only lost one race to Muhammad Aman in the rain one day. In 2014 and 2015, he obviously lost a couple of races because he was unfit and injured. But he's like a LeBron or a Roger Federer. They're the top of their game, and if someone's going to beat him when they're at the top of their game, it's probably going to be in March. But he would have to have an incredibly bad day, and I would have to have an incredibly amazing out of my skin day. I don't want to say it's impossible, but I think beating Rhodesia would be pretty bloody hard.
Nice. Well, it's going to be awesome to watch either way. It's always exciting when the big man comes out.
Oh, hopefully, you can get him and Sami Tanguy taking it out in 49, 50 seconds, and then, hopefully getting, hopefully 4 or 5 people through that, 1:46 time, and then opening up nationals and being at a, like a blue ribbon event. Yep. So that'd be awesome.
True that. So on the 23rd of February, you're going to compete in the Vic Mile Champs. You've never broken 4 minutes for the mile. How do you feel about your chances in this one?
Yeah, I mentioned this. I was actually having this chat today with someone. I was having this chat with Jack Rayner when I was warming down today, and I said I have a mile curse. I've ran 5 miles in my time. I've ran one of them was a downhill road mile, so everything was working in my favour. It was downhill. Should have ran quick. I only ran 4:09. I've ran a mile in New Zealand that I ran 4:17. I've ran a mile in Perth. I came dead last in Perth Track Classic last year. I ran 4:21. I ran a mile in Vic Mile Champs in 2014. I ran 4:30. The only mile that I've actually gone alright in is Leonora, which is I ran 4:15 off 6 hairpin turns. Yeah. So this will be about my 5th, I think, or 5th or 6th. So I'm hoping that I break that curse and hopefully break sub 4. I think with recent shape and the fitness that I'm in, I think I don't want to say it'll be easy because 4 minutes is a tough barrier, but I think it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Nice. And I'll have Sam McAtee and Jack Stapleton running with me, and I just found out just before that Jack Davies is pacing us through at about 1:56 or 1:57. So it'll be on. It'll be on.
Nice. In an interview up at Falls Creek, you once said to me, you didn't want to just compete at the Olympics. You wanted, you truly believed that you wanted to go and be in the hunt for a medal. How much does self-belief and confidence play a part in your running journey?
That's another thing that I've learnt since joining Nick. I honestly think that running is just as much mental as it is physical. So, if you have, a moment of doubt, or if you have a moment where you just, think you can't do it, then you may as well be in the sport. You'll just get absolutely killed. So, I mean, getting a medal at the Olympics is, with our last medal in a distance event was, I couldn't even tell you, in the Olympics, a while ago. So, I mean, it's definitely a thought, but self belief and having it being mentally strong just as you are fit is just important, I believe, and I think that's what that's what people haven't gotten right yet.
Nice. And look, when did you kind of first work out you had a fair bit of talent as a runner?
Oh, I I've always done little acts since I was about starting in under fives or under sixes or whatever it was, and then used to compete in like school sports in prep and year one and year two. I suppose I had a lot of natural talent when I was younger. I won nationals when I was 10 years old, nationals when I was 11. Then I kind of had so I suppose early on I knew that I was pretty talented, and then I kind of was in that awkward stage when I was about 12, 13, 14, when boys were growing and I was still a bit smaller. And then I suppose I never really got to see kind of that talent again until I was about 16, 17. And that was when it only kind of, I started to go through like puberty and started mature and that. So, I didn't really think that I was going to be a true contender in the sport probably until I was maybe 18 or 19, which is, I think, maybe a good thing for, younger people who are kind of a little bit stressed about their progress, just to kind of be patient.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. And you being obviously at 17, 18, 19, you're one of the top, not top in Australia. A lot of US colleges would have tried to recruit you. I'm sure they did. Why did you choose to go the route you did? Like, stay here, train with
Yeah.
MTC.
Um, yeah, US college. I mean, I'm I'm just as equally for it as I'm against it. I When I went to World Juniors in 2014, was staying at the University of Oregon, and I was around these people who, in my team, like Morgan McDonald, Anna Lamar, and Jordan Makins, and a few others, they were going straight from World Juniors to college. So I was thinking, this is amazing. They'll get to live in America for the next 4 years, compete at Hayward Field again, and I was just thinking, this is awesome. And I came off such a high of running at World Juniors to coming back to Melbourne where it was miserable, cold. I was unfit. I took 4 weeks off. I was fat. I just had no motivation, and I just thought, because at that point I was training by myself as well, and I just thought, I need to change something. So I spoke to a few colleges. I was actually speaking to Penn State. I actually verbally committed to Penn State, so I kind of, a bit unfortunate, but I I thought that the best judge on the situation would be Nick Beddoe. So I spoke to Nick. My mum spoke to Nick, and Nick said, "Look, I spoke to Nick and said, look, this is what I want to do. I want to go to college." And obviously, and it's a bit more long-winded than this, but he pretty much kind of suggested that it wasn't going to be the best option for me, and he just yeah. So I pretty much took his judgment on it, and that was it. But that being said, I think that it's perfect for some people. I mean, there's a lot of people who might never see international like racing exposure. They might never they might never go to a nationals. They might never compete overseas. So I think for those that want to see something in the sport but might not make an Olympics or a World Champs, it's a perfect choice. But as well as that, there's been some stars come out of the sport. I mean, David McNeil, he's going to the Olympics this year. He's a two-time Olympian. Jen Lacarze went to Florida, and now she's, I wouldn't be surprised if she, gives the Olympics a real crack this year. She's in amazing form. So I think it's just more suited to the person, the personality, and just kind of who you ask. Because obviously you see a lot of people who it doesn't work for, but I've been around a lot of people who it does work for. So I I think that all kids who are 18, 19 should definitely look into it and just have the option.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's true. Like, going overseas, training with other guys, how important is that as well? Like, switching it up.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important. I mean, with with Nick Beddoe, he's dealt with so many people since early 1990s, maybe even earlier. So he's been in the sport for 20, 25 years, and he's just the kind of bloke that um, he's kind of got a bit of an aura around him. He just kind of demands respect. He has respect, and he just kind of has you hanging on his words from the first time you meet him. So I think he's obviously the coach, but he's 100% responsible for everybody's success. He's just as good a mental coach as he is a running coach, and he creates the group mentality, and his theory. I mean, some people might not like his theory. He's kind of comes from an endurance and a fitness based background where if you run between 130 and 160 k's a week, you should be able to, or not should be, you could be able to run between 144, which he's done, and also run 12:55 in a 5k or a 60 flat half marathon. So Nick Bordeaux, he's a really good coach, and he set up things by himself with the help of nobody. Pretty much, he speaks to all the big brands, Nike, Adidas, by himself. He set up pretty much kind of almost this funding type club through his own work, and it's pretty cool how we get to meet some of the world's best athletes. We get to train at altitude overseas, get to race overseas, and if you were to say at the moment, if I was to join any club in the world, I'm pretty loyal at the moment, but I probably wouldn't join anyone else.
Nah, I don't think you should. I think you're pretty set there, and I agree with everything you're saying about Nick. Just being around there recently, like it's a phenomenal environment, and you can see just feeding off each other.
And he's pretty tough on you in a good way. I mean, like you kind of do something, even when you're out and about with mates, and you just kind of think, oh, what would Nick think about this? So, and as well as that, he's a pretty scary guy. So I wouldn't really want to annoy him or anything like that.
No, don't do that. Yeah. All right, man, that's great. So look, in the random question here in the Melbourne track squad, who's the joker there? Who's the funniest guy around training?
Yeah. Okay. I really enjoy. I've become, since joining the group, I've become really close with obviously a lot of people, but Ryan Gregson, Brett, and Jen, they really crack me up. They just, in kind of their own way, they just do certain things and just have these funny stories. Just crack me up. There's always, whenever we're warming up, there's never a dull moment. But there's this other person who I'm not sure if many people know. I think you know Ross, but a guy named Sean Guinea, who's coached by Tim O'Shaughnessy, who's I suppose pretty much kind of like the Melbourne Track Club extended family. He would have to be one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah,
he's just he's really intelligent, and he's just kind of got this optimistic view on everything, but at the same time, he's really harsh on himself, and in kind of a pessimistic way, he's really funny. And I think if the Melbourne Track Club guys are listening, they'll have the same opinion as me.
Yeah, I figured
you were going to say Sean Guinea, number one.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say him there.
Yeah, but in terms of people coached by Nick, I'd have to say Grego, Jen, Brett, and then Kev Batt's funny. He always makes me laugh. And then there's another guy, Michael Ekvall from Sweden, who's hilarious. He's Swedish. He just says things in his Swedish accent that just makes me laugh.
That's the thing, eh? It's such a relaxed environment and nice environment. And then like when it's time to switch on, you switch on, and then boom, back into relax, and it's just it looks a very, very motivating kind of crew you've got there.
Yeah, I think people kind of judge us a bit harshly sometimes. Actually, a lot of the people in the group are actually good guys. So
they're all good guys.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see us in a bit of a negative way. We're all down to earth, good blokes, but obviously some people have their opinions, but who am I to judge?
Yeah. You judge doesn't even matter, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Works, All right, so look, I've looked at your Facebook, your profile picture, your background on it. It's the current UFC featherweight champion Conor McGregor. Is he your current sporting idol, and why? Why is this
Yeah,
wild man?
Conor McGregor. Um, to be honest, I'm not. I am a bit of a bandwagoner. I don't know a whole heap about UFC, and I've I really enjoy. There's two people from the UFC that I like. Kind of a bloke who was kind of a bit bigger in 2012 and 2013. A guy called Charles Sonnen, who was this American wrestler who used to fight Anderson Silva, and he just used to talk a big game, and 90% of the time back it up. And then Conor McGregor now is doing the exact same thing. He's talking a big game and he's backing it up. That's why I really like people like that who are so confident in their abilities that they're able to back it up and, talk a big game, block it off before their competition, race, fight, whatever it is, and then can do exactly what they're going to say. That's why I have a lot of respect for Brett Robinson, because he always talks this big game. He calls a lot of, social media banter or beef or whatever it is, and he backs it up. He didn't get the win in Zatopek, but he was second, and he's been probably the best or second best 5K runner the last 2-3 years, and and then so yeah, those guys I look up to them. But then there's some sets. I like those people who are cocky and they're kind of confident. But then I also like people like Nick Willis and Nick Simmons who are grounded and just know where they want to go, and they're relatable.
Yeah, I understand that. It's cool. And are you gonna watch Conor's fight? Actually, you see you can get that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm a bandwagoner.
Yeah.
I watch. There's probably I'm not even sure how many fights are in this, but there's probably 100 or fights between Conor McGregor's fights. But I'm sure I'll watch Conor McGregor's.
All right, man, that's good. And what's a typical day like for Luke Mathews, and what do you do to chill out? Just to get away from the running scene.
Yeah. Okay. So at the moment, I'm working at an accounting firm just out of the city. So I do that 2 or 3 days a week. So those are on the session days. So if I'm working, I wake up about 6:30, go for a run by 7, 7:15 with Sean Guinea. Then I work from 9:30 to 5, come home. Then I run from Brett Robinson's house and Tom O'Shaughnessy's house in South Melbourne. Do about an afternoon run, 30 minutes, 60 minutes in the morning. Go home from there and go straight to gym. And then by the time I'm finished up, it's about 8 o'clock. So by that time, I'm ready to just chill for 2 or 3 hours and then get into bed. And I'm also doing summer uni, so I try to fit in an hour or two of study if I can be bothered. And then pretty much on the session days, I wake up at 8 o'clock, get to training by 9:30, get home by 12:30, and then run in the afternoon. But between 12 and 5 o'clock, I just like to use that as mentally switch off, have a nap, watch TV, and just do nothing, put my feet up. So there's when I'm training hard, I like to train hard, but when I'm doing nothing, I like to do a whole heap of nothing.
Nice. You got any? What's your favorite show at the moment? You rolling
Yeah.
anything?
Well, Entourage is my all-time number one,
nice.
so that's obviously finished. But at
Unfortunately,
the moment, the ongoing season of Suits.
Oh,
So,
I could pick that as well. I knew you'd say Suits. Nice.
Yeah.
And then there's that new show Billions out as well. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet because I just finished my last exam today, so I got about 2 or 3 weeks until semester 1 starts. So I might try get on a new TV show.
Nice.
Zone out.
Yeah, sweet. And what's your general mileage New Balance shoe right now?
At the moment, I'm kind of between the Vazis, the 1080 Fresh Foams, and the 1260s for runners. And then on sessions, I use 1400 race flats and sometimes 1500s. And then spikes, I use the MT 800s, which are, yeah, they're kind of like a really good miler, anywhere between 800 and 5K shoot.
So we're going to see you next at the Vic Mile Champs. Then where are you off to? You're off to Melbourne, is that correct? Or
Yeah, doing Melbourne, so
yeah.
Run against Rhodesia, hopefully run a good time. And then off to Sydney Track Classic. And then between Sydney Track Classic and Nationals, I'll still have to decide if I'm going to do the 8 or the 15 there. And then from there, head over to Europe and, you know, try to chase that Olympic dream.
Yeah, sweet, man. What's your favourite distance?
Favourite distance?
Yeah.
I haven't run one yet, but I'm going to say the K. Just because it's perfectly in the middle. Not perfect.
K.
Nah, between 8 and 15.
Yeah, 8 and 15.
Say
8.
I'm going to have to say the 15. I enjoy the 1500s. I really enjoy it.
Nice.
I just haven't had enough. I haven't had a whole heap of exposure with them for the past 2 or 3 years. So this year, hopefully, get into some good races, run some good times, and hopefully show some people that I'm a true 8:15, miler, what they like to call those type of runners.
Mate, all the best, and I hope you get that qualifier. I'm very confident you will.
Just have to do it.